Assalamu alaikum, marsh Doril. Welcome to my channel. Friends, I'm a very tolerant man. I do not appreciate any kind of nationalism, and I think most people on this earth are people like me in that case. So in the last days through social networks we have witnessed a trick of some being. I wouldn't call him human because I think it would offend human beings to call creature like that a human. This creature's name is Rasmus Paludan, and he calls himself a leader of some children alt-right party. And he did a pity trick in front of Turkish embassy in Stockholm, Sweden. Okay, we understood that this Rasmus is a sick being who will find what he's looking for. I promise you that. It's not what he thinks he will find, it's something different. And he will not like it. But the question is, why would Swedish authorities allow such kind of wild and stupid action? To not allow themselves to enter NATO, or just to offend the whole Muslim world. So if these were your goals, congratulations, you achieved them. But I hope you're not happy with that. Now you probably want to say that this is not Islamophobia, this is just a freedom of speech. No, this is not a freedom of speech when you offend billions of believers. It looks more like Satanism. It means that the Satan is telling you what you should do, and you're just obeying him. To be honest, you let the Satan stay deep in your head, and that's foolish. Do you have any idea of the religious feelings of Muslims? We care about our religion. Wanted to do dirty trick to Turkey, but did a crime to the whole Muslim world. In this matter, all Muslims are united, Shia or Sunni, regardless in which relationships they are with Turkey. Because it's not about Turkey anymore. Unfortunately, in most European countries with this lie of freedom of speech, you sometimes allow yourselves extremely and radically spread hate to the Muslims. Not that you don't pay for that, you do, but still, time after time, shit like this happens over and over. Another situation in Netherlands, an old, decrepit, scared fool surrounded by policemen tears the Holy Quran. It's really a pity thing to see. Now what, like the whole life you will sit in your home surrounded by the policeman? Who is forcing you to do that while you fear so much of the consequences? We Muslims know that no security will save you from anger of God. The retribution will come sooner or later, not immediately, maybe a bit later, but it will take its place someday. It always does. Do you remember Lars Vilks, the one who made caricatures on our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and who's ended up with burning in a car accident with his security? He knows that, but however, for now he is not able to tell you that. But when you will meet him, you will understand it. You know, personally to me, Europe is 4 years of my childhood. We moved there as refugees from the ruins of my republic back then. We used to live in Austria, and I have the best childhood memories of that time. Of the most amazing, hardworking and polite people who know how to work and how to relax. And I also remember these wonderful national celebrations. People with national clothing, music. This was really a beautiful thing to experience. Also the different schools I went to, from the third class to the sixth classes, the pension where we used to live with families just like us, the owner of the pension, Harreiter, who was such a kind, hardworking soul, regardless of his wealth. You know, for me, who used to play in the ruins, slept in the cellar to save myself from the bombings, this was such an amazing experience. And I felt that this is my second home. But now I feel something totally different. My attitude to Europe has been changed, like, from the last years. When I heard in social networks that some pope in Germany encourages same-sex marriages, LGBT minorities, like, I felt it's not Europe to me anymore. And you know that these things are forbidden in any religion. It's not just Islam. It's in the Bible, in Torah, like everywhere these things are forbidden. It's not allowed. It's not good. I think these things are like a cancer tumor on the body of Europe. And as soon as you, the Europeans, will get that, as righteous will be your further actions. Let's ask yourself, what does one need to destroy a nation? You have to destroy the family. Now let's take a look on the demographic situation of Europe. To save the numbers of any nation, the coefficient of fertility must be 2.1 children to 1 woman. This means 10 women must give birth at least to 21 children. And what's the coefficient in Germany, Sweden, or in the whole Europe? Everything below that, what we mentioned before, is the number reduction of nation in a geometrical progress. Shh, like that. Look at the birth rate in your country. Take a calculator and check what will happen, I don't know, like in 20, 50 years, maybe. What about 75 years? What you hear about the scary Muslim killers, terrorists, is just fairy tales. If you will collect all the crimes, killings, genocides of the world, from the time when Islam was known as a religion, you will find out that not even 5% of all these things are done by the Muslims. So here's the list of shitty things that happened in this period. Let's start with extermination of millions of Indians in the North and South America. Destroying and trading with Africans, extermination of Cherkessian people by the Russian Empire, extermination of Aborigines in Australia, 2 world wars, the revolution and continuous extermination of millions of Russians. In the Central Committee of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union, there were no Muslims. Sétif massacre in Algeria, and the list goes on and on. Where are the Muslims on the list? If you have another data, please write it in the comments. If the war against Muslims must be in such rude way, then the war against Europeans is with moral corruption, and it's not less, if not more effective. And now to my Muslim brothers and sisters, no doubt that these nothingnesses will get what they deserve. It's just a question of time. Let's ask ourselves, why is that possible? The answer seems easy. The Muslim world is weak. Weak in politics, weak in the science, weak in the mass media. Unfortunately, many Muslim countries are poor and weak. And those who are rich are not helping the poor, developing the science, or just protecting Muslim values in the international sphere. They're just competing with each other who has the tallest building, or fancy airplanes, or just buying football players for billions of dollars. So, if we want to do better, we need to be better. Firstly, I'm saying this to myself because I know myself, and I'm not the person whom you can look up for an example, unfortunately. But I just think we need to have more influence, do good, and be better. Thank you for having patience to stay with me until the end of this video. So yeah, I have to say goodbye to you. That's all. Assalamu alaikum. See you in the next videos. Hadi köy.